What happened to April Wine? Canadian band April Wine formed in late 1969 in Waverly, Nova Scotia, but vocalist/guitarist Miles Goodwin, guitarist David Hinman, drummer Richie Hinman, and bassist Jimmy Hinman soon moved to Montreal. Three of the founding members, David Hinman, Richard Hinman, and their cousin Jim Hinman, were originally in a band called Prism, not to be confused with the Vancouver-based band of the same name. They spent 5 months touring Eastern Canada with Mash McCann. Fast Train, their first hit, appeared in 1971, the same year as their self-titled debut album. Jimmy Hinman left soon after and was replaced by Jimmy Clinch. In the meantime, the band spent 1971 touring the college circuit, except for July 30th when they opened for the Guess Who. The next year brought the group's first Canadian #1 single, You Could Have Been a Lady, from On Record. They began to play larger venues and opened for a few more large acts such as Ike and Tina Turner, Jethro Tull, Badfinger, and Stevie Wonder. David and Richie Hinman left before the next album, Electric Jewels, could be recorded, and they were replaced by Jerry Mercer and Gary Moffat. Touring proved successful as Gene Cornish and Dino Danelli of the Rascals attended a 1974 concert in Massey Hall and were so impressed they offered to record and produce a live album of the band. After April Wine Live in 1974 and Stand Back in 1975, Steve Lang replaced Clinch, who left to join Bachman Turner Overdrive and later Loverboy. In 1976, The Whole World's Going Crazy became the first Canadian album to go platinum, and their resulting tour was the first to gross $1 million. April Wine went on to tour with Heart and then Thundermug. In April 1976, April Wine became the first band to sell out Regina Stadium and the first band to sell out Edmonton's Kinsman Fieldhouse 2 nights in a row. Forever For Now appeared in 1976, followed by April Wine Live at the El Mocambo in 1977. The band then got its first chance at touring the US, opening for the Rolling Stones, Styx, and Rush. Guitarist Brian Greenway was added that same year, making the band a sextet. In 1978, they played with Triumph and Starcastle, and in July played a concert with the Atlanta Rhythm Section. 1979 was spent touring with Toto, Boston, and Blue Oyster Cult. In the recording studio, they made and released 1978's First Glance and 1979's Harder Faster, and Just Between You and Me became April Wine's biggest US hit. The single, which was one of 3 top 40 American singles by the band, propelled 1981's Nature of the Beast to platinum record sales. In addition to packed concert schedule of solo concerts, they traveled to Germany to play a concert with Neil Young and King Crimson. Power Play followed in 1982. The Power Play tour in 1982 was the band's most extensive, which was 3 months with Eddie Money and Uriah Heep. 1984's Animal Grace was their next album. The tour was successful enough to spawn another live album, One for the Road. Although they broke up after Animal Grace, they still owed the record company another album, so Greenway joined Goodwin along with Montreal session musicians Daniel Barb on keyboards, John Pillerin on bass, and drummer Marty Simon to record what was supposed to be the band's final album, Walking Through Fire. Goodwin recorded his first self-titled solo album in 1988. 4 years later, all of the original members regrouped for a Canadian tour, which convinced them to resume recording full-time. If You Believe in Me, the band's first single in 8 years, was followed by 1993's album Attitude. Segal remained with the band through one more studio release, 1994's Frigate. Each year for the next 5 years, they went out on tour playing with, among others, Def Leppard, Foreigner, Meatloaf, Peter Frampton, and Nazareth. The band released another album in 2001 entitled Back to the Mansion. Also in 2001, the band's song Roller was featured in the movie Joe Dirt. Then in 2003, they released a live album called Greatest Hits Live 2003. In the meantime, record companies released several compilation albums. In 2004, Silverline released April Wine's first DVD called From the Front Row Live. From 2001 to 2004, their live shows included Carl Dixon, who used to play in Tony Hatch and the Guess Who, on guitars, keyboards, and backing vocals. On October 31st, 2006, Aquarius Records released April Wine Rocks, a new compilation of April Wine favorites, including a bonus live tune and a new album entitled Roughly Speaking, which was released on November 28, 2006. At the end of the year, Clinch left the band for the second time and was replaced by bassist Breen LaBeouf. A year later, Mercer announced his retirement, and his scheduled final show in Calgary, Alberta, ringing in the 2009 New Year, was cancelled due to bad weather. Mercer was replaced by drummer Blair MacKay. Sadly, on November 3, 2010, Jim Clinch died in Montreal of lung cancer at the age of 61. 7 years later, Steve Lang died on February 4, 2017 at age 67 of Parkinson's disease. April Wine continues to tour across Canada annually and to play festivals in Europe and the US, with the group consisting of Goodwin, Greenway, Lanthier, and drummer Roy Nip Nickel. They played a concert in Ottawa in September 2021. In December 2022, Miles Goodwin announced that he would no longer be touring with the band, turning over his vocal and guitar duties to Mark Parent. From that point on, he only focused on writing and recording. Unfortunately, only a year later, Goodwin died on December 3, 2023 at the age of 75. With the death of Miles Goodwin, that now leaves 0 original members in the band, but Brian Greenway did play on some of their hits in the late 70s and in the 80s, if you want to count that. So what do you think? Should April Wine still be considered April Wine, or should it go under a different name? And that's what happened to April Wine. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Give me some facts about the band that I failed to mention, and let me know who I should do next on the channel. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.